Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Tyranny, Blind. Now, last time I conquered Ascension Hall at the head of a Vendrin Guard, which somehow cancelled the Edict, which I still think it's ridiculous that this loophole works. Because the edict was worded in a way that said that unless someone loyal to Kairos, conquers Ascension Hall, everybody will die. But I think it's ridiculous for for the magic of the edict to sort of fall for my claim that I'm still loyal to Kairos if I'm directly opposing his conquest and directly colluding with his enemies who are outside of his law. Like, how much more treasonous can you really get? I killed my own soldiers, who were soldiers protected by Kairos' aegis, his shield of his law, because they were his loyal servants. I killed the second in command of the disfavored, who are, Kairos' elite troops. And yet still, somehow, I sort of present myself as being loyal to Kairos. Like, I don't think this makes that much sense, but let's just roll with it. Now, supposedly I'm supposed to talk to Barik. There was a pop-up here, something about the shield of aegis or whatever. So let's talk to Barik again. I already talked to him quite a lot, but now it's an actual objective.
It's a tough job being so remarkable all the time.
Fatebinder, if you have a moment. Barik stands at attention, his rigid bearing making of him an unmoving statue. I know that the two of us have clashed on several subjects since the Iron Marshal assigned me to your protection. I hope those disagreements do not weigh too heavily against the request I'm about to make of you. Well, to be honest, I, myself, don't have that much against Barik. Like, it annoys me that he's a cultural supremacist, but that simply comes with him being disfavored. If anything, I think he's a much more reasonable person than Verse is, because Verse is a downright psychopath who killed her own friends and family and seems to revel in that fact. So, from my side, I don't have a problem with Barik. It seems that he has a problem with me. Relax, Barik. Just tell me what's on your mind. I hope that perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. I can adjudicate cases in the Archon's stead. This is something you would probably want to appeal to higher powers. I've been encased in this. He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. This shell, since Kairos' Edict of Storms, made a grave of old stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord, and I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. Well, Tunon can't exactly order Kairos to take your armor off. I have several daydreams that would take issue with your statement. Yeah, right. Eb seems to fancy Barik, which, to be honest, is kind of beyond me. Because, first of all, you don't know how he looks, which, maybe is not that big of a problem. Some people are not that focused on looks. She might find his overall posture and his voice, for example, attractive. But the problem is, Barik constantly smells of sweat, blood, and literal shit because he shits himself on a daily basis on account of being unable to remove his armor when he goes to relieve himself. So, he has to be foul beyond reckoning. But, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I wasn't going to ask the Overlord to do it personally. His metal plates grind together as he shifts. The Forge-bound Guild swore its services to the Adjudicator. If any hope of my freedom from this Carabs exists, it lies with them. I will happily make your case to the Archon. Thank you, Fatebinder. His salute rings like a poorly cast bell. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment. Okay, petition Tunon on Barik's behalf, but before I do, there is this, which, I suppose I have to interact with if I ever want to go down. On closer inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall, moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare on the symbol, the chill of the winds abates, and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. I'd be careful getting any closer. The whole tower is humming with energies I don't understand. Lantry holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does, just be cautious. You staked your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. I can feel power running through the place. Ebb surveys the surroundings, her gaze sweeping to the object in the center. You can sense the magic of the spire even from down below, but up here, this close to the axis of the spire, the deluge of the energy is numbing. What is this thing? The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, the solid rock undulates, the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from your voice distorted. What is that thing? Your voice, for a moment there, it sounded like a song. The sculpture is once again still. There is a rush of warmth throughout your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of it as the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. With this connection made, you feel awareness pull from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from an impossibly far away. In this moment, there is nothing you cannot see, though you see it all nearly at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, two walls extending off into the distance. At the base of the eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of the unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up at the sky towards you. Though you haven't seen it in person, you are certain that this is a vision of Lethian's crossing, for nowhere else are the Tearsmen brave or desperate enough to settle at the intersection of a bane-ridden old walls. Near the settlement built at the joining of an ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden hidden realm within the old walls. Drift into the old walls entrance, let's see what it's about. Shadows envelop you, matting all sounds and vision. With a slight delay, there is a feeling of perversion, of wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Figures haunt the stone halls, drifting emanations of cloud, claw and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in life. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor, though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon, though it takes you a moment to recognize it as Vengeance well. You've returned to the awareness of your immediate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. Drift closer to the spire. The spire feels familiar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone, a branch withering once pulled away from its tree. It reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for the moment are quiet. your body flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point on the top of the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above their distant surroundings. Did you sense that? Lantry sings a long sigil in the air, signs a long sigil in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. The ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. The portal over there, those burning braziers, they all glow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it is worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's a no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. No doubt you have much to report to Tunon. While you meet with the Archon, Florian, Sybil and I will tend to the wounded and salvage what we can from the Archon's war camp. We'll meet you back at Ascension Hall, provided that the Archon of Justice doesn't execute you for assisting us. That's kind of my point. Like, I fail to see why he wouldn't. Like, in fact, it seems downright insane to me to even go to his court to appeal to him, because I'm not sure how you could spin it in a way that would still make you loyal to Kairos. Like, I guess the best answer I have for Tunon, at least, is that it must work. I must be loyal to Kairos because I ended the edict. If I wasn't, it wouldn't have worked, right? We all would have died. So clearly, the Overlord trusts me. Like, the Overlord's own words were pleased with what I've done. It worked out. It satisfied the edict. You know, that might be enough for Tunon himself, because I don't think he knows whatever Kairos does, right? There has to be a separation of power and a separation of knowledge between them. But I still think the fact that it worked is kind of weird and bordering on stupid. Okay, there's quite a lot of things. Investigate the spires, find a way into Lethian Crossing Spire. First, let me level up. I am going to pump wits to like 20, because it increases spell strength, which seems like a pretty cool deal. Oh right, I can also put points directly into this. I think I am going to what? Can I? Okay, I feel confused. Like, what does the game want with me? Ebb 1 attribute point. Okay, so it's shared for the party. Magic Staff Mastery increases damage with magic staffs and allows basic attacks to strike multiple times. Sure, I'll take this for auto attacks. You don't have a level up. Ebb has one. Now her magic, interestingly enough, seems kind of might based. You know, tight casting is related to might, so I might put a point into that for her. As far as actual spells, is there anything passive? Gain a bonus to all shock and frost damage dealt. There is. Sure, let's take Elemental Fury. Because I'm not very good at micro, so whatever passive effects exist, that they are kind of useful to me, even though, you know, you might view them as a bit boring. Travel to Tunon's court in the Bastard City. Investigate the spires. Okay. Reputation. Yeah, the Scarlet Chorus hates my guts. And to be honest, so do the Disfavored, although funnily enough, they hate me less, even though I killed their second in command. On Bronze Brotherhood, Vengeance Guard loves me. Lethian Crossing, Lantry. Yeah, Barik kind of despises me. Unfortunately. Now, interestingly, Graven Asher doesn't seem to be... Because, you know, my favor with the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus cancelled itself upon betraying Kairos, but it doesn't seem to do the same for the Archons. Which, you know, might make sense for Graven Asher himself, because he was once an enemy of Kairos himself. You know, he was just subjugated. Okay, what else do I want to do here?
I got it.
Oh, there are still things. Spell creation, there's a Spire menu, but I also have a Missive, the Dawn of Ascension. Stanis Javert, the Archons inform me that the recapture of the Citadel from the Vengeance Guard insurrectionists continues apace. That they wrote to me separately of their divergent tactical intentions and dangers engenders no small concern. I don't know that word. I can understand what it means from concept. I mean, from context, it must mean something like it raises not a small concern or whatever. But I don't know that word. No small concern, but I trust now in your efforts. May your good judgment see through the coming of the confrontation with glory and success, and back to the safety of our court. Tunon the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. Oh, that must have come before I stormed I just didn't notice it. It's kind of funny if I'm going to send him a reply now, but I will thank him. Archon Tunon, as always, your words fortify me against the immediate difficulty and strife. I eagerly anticipate returning to your hall. A reasonable discussion of the Overlord's legal code appeals greatly after the discord of this campaign. Fatebinder, Stanis Javert. Yeah, let's send it. Okay, so I can create a spell, which maybe I should, to be honest. Can I create Sigil of Force? Can I create an intensified version of this? Yes, I can, because I have lore 60, right? 68, yes. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Can you do anything funny? And what does this do? Spire upgrades. Mountain Spire in Vengeance Well. The ancient device perched atop the Mountain Spire in Vengeance Well is the product of an forgotten age. It is unclear what function it once had, or if it can be used again. Resting in any spire grants a bonus to all skills. Maintenance cost none. Okay, I have materials here. And I can hire people. And there are information on the edicts in the different lands. Okay, let's first investigate the rest of this. I can hire a merchant with a motley collection of items for sale. Revels will also create camping supplies periodically, but I can also only hire 6 people, so perhaps I should weigh my choice. A skill trainer who teaches unarmed, parry, dodge, and subterfuge. A skill trainer who teaches 100 weapons, parry, and athletics. Skill trainer who teaches 200 dodge. Battle scavenger with many unique items for sale. Interesting. Okay, I'm not going to hire anyone now. But let's read about the Edicts. The Edict of Stone. In the last year of Kairos' conquest, when the Archon Cairn rebelled against the Overlord's rule, an edict was proclaimed upon the realm of Azure to preserve our peace, the promise of safety to our citizens. All Archons must submit to our will. Any Archon who refuses proper submission must be brought to justice. Therefore, let the foundations of Azure be shattered and life drain from the land, while the traitor Cairn draws breath. Huh. So he's... Okay, so this is actually pretty easy, well, easy to break. You just have to kill him, right? Or make him, because he's like frozen, or rather turned to stone, but he's not dead, therefore the edict is still in place. If he were to die, or otherwise, like, transcend mortality, the edict would be broken, right? The Edict of Fire. In the year 430 TR, Kairos the Overlord proclaimed an edict over the Velum Citadel in the contested lands. It is our most solemn duty to protect the citizens of our empire from all dangers, including the danger of knowledge that is forbidden. Let those who, in their burning arrogance, hold tightly to this lore be consumed by our wrath. Therefore, let the fires of Teratus rise up and consume them for as long as forbidden knowledge lies within the heart of the Velum Citadel. Okay, again, this is pretty easy to break. Well, easy. Again, not sure how easy the actual task is, but what I mean is it's pretty easy to understand what needs to be done. You have to travel into the depths of the Citadel and, you know, find any hidden stashes or whatever, pick up all of the forbidden lore that they have there and carry it out or destroy it, and then the edict will be over. The Edict of Storms. In the year 430 TR, the Overlord proclaimed an edict over the realm of Stalwart. Those who in their pride and arrogance stand against the peace and order of our empire shall be ground beneath the stones of their land. Let those who call themselves unbroken, who embrace the chaos of war in defiance of our order, be broken in the storms of our rage. Let our storm rage until the last blade be broken, or the line of the regent falls. Okay, so if all of the people, all of the successors to the line of the Unbroken were to die, the edict would be broken as well. Okay. Is that all of them? I was pretty sure that there was supposed to be one more. Okay, let's pick up.
I got it.
Barik.
You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means. What can I do for you?
Suit up, Barik. We're leaving.
If you would have me travel at your side, then I am not opposed to seeing more of this degenerate realm. Onward.
Goodbye to you too.
A powerful multi-hit attack that dazes, stuns, and sunders an opponent. Okay, sure. Well, let's get down to Ascension Hall, because maybe I can talk to Tarkis Ari again, you know, about her next moves or whatever. The stone throne is caked with a solid layer of dust. No one has sat upon it for quite some time. All that remains on the plates and in the goblets are molded bits of bread and dingy water. A decent meal hasn't been had in this room for a long time.
Can't do that. Interesting.
It gets freezing here sometimes. These small barracks are nowhere large enough to keep the Vengeance Guard comfortable and well rested. Sleeping occurs in short shifts, with the soldiers rotating in and out of beds. Research dagger plans. These partial plans describe a process of crafting a powerful weapon, but more research is needed to fill the gaps in the plan. The research can be made with a Spire library upgrade and the proper materials. Okay. Can I use that? Not from here. Bloodstains litter the training grounds. Vengeance Guard trainees spar in this area, perfecting their martial craft. Plans. Locked iron gauntlet. Ending Kairos' edict on vengeance well filled you with a great deal of power. This will undoubtedly prove useful as you traverse the tiers. You should investigate the origins of this power and find ways to acquire more. A new bar on your character sheet displays the current level of power. Press C to view it. Okay, it's this. I'm not quite sure what it does.
Can't do that.
Was a rough day, Fatebinder. We lost some good soldiers this week. Following Kairos' conquest, food has become far less plentiful in the tiers. The Vengeance Guard must make do with very little.
Can't do that.
Where's Tarkis Ari? You'd think she would have a lot to say after this battle is done.
Sorry, I can't.
Bronze great axe. I'll need to do some inventory sorting once I find a merchant. Oh, my personal banners are hanging from the walls now.
You see what I see?
The damage dates back to Kairos' initial conquest of the tiers. That is one of the few blemishes remaining. That it is one of the few blemishes remaining is testament to the Vengeance Guard's reconstruction efforts.
Can't do that.
Okay, so where can I go? The answer is basically just to another spire, to the bastard city, which is where Tunon's court is, and I guess that's it for now. Oh, that's Tunon. Voices of Nerat. And Graven Ashe. But can I go to one of the previous locations here? I guess I can't, at least for now. And I can't get to here. This area is currently inaccessible, so I want to read about any of those now. I'll read about them once they become accessible. But I guess before I go to Tunon, I will investigate this other spire, although I might be too weak to get through it. Like, I'll have to, see about it. Haven. The lords and ladies of the coastal realm of Haven are known to spend as much energy fighting each other as they do the other realms. In the recent generations, many of the coastal cities rebelled and became known as the Free Cities, lawless dots along the coast. The majority of the realm's political and economic might resides within them, and by the time of Kairos' conquest of the Tiers, all major coastal powers had declared independence. This left Haven with an ambiguous ruling structure that could not simultaneously weather political infighting and armed conflict, granting Kairos' forces an easy victory. Okay, that's Lethian's Crossing. Yeah, I think I'll go there before I go to appeal my case to Tunon. The latter option seems possibly like it could be kind of final. Like, it still baffles me that it's presented as such an obvious option, whereas to me, I would be very afraid for my life if I went back there. Okay, let's go to Lethian's Crossing for now, I guess. So just to make sure, I cannot go out of here anymore, right? Yeah, it doesn't seem so. Built in the shadow of the Old Walls Junction is the Realm of Haven. In the Realm of Haven, Lethian's Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby rivers are rich in iron ore, though the locals lack the technology to smelt and forge the element. In the years following Kairos' conquest of the Tiers, the population of the crossing swelled with refugees fleeing the destruction of their homelands. The presence of the forgebound mining the iron, along with their guards, makes this makeshift settlement a vital resource for Kairos' armies. Briefly garrisoned during Kairos' conquest of the Tiers, the settlement was taken over by a hand of mercenaries known as the Bronze Brotherhood after Kairos' forces abandoned the settlement. Okay. A group of mercenaries, members of the Bronze Brotherhood, are blocking the road to Lethian's Crossing. Oh, is it a fight or is it a...
Can't do that.
Talking opportunity? You must be joking. A toll? I will pay no such thing. I demand to be let through. Sorry, no one passes without paying. Okay. Before I steal from you, let's talk, because you might not appreciate the aforementioned stealing, which, to be honest, is not that weird. If anything, it's weird.
Sorry, I can't.
That people don't oppose it more in games, you know? When you take their stuff right from under their noses and they do nothing. A tall woman stands here, surveying the area of a small overlook. She glances at you and immediately goes back to watching her surrounding. Welcome to the Ironhole Trail, Fatebinder of Tunon. She salutes you. My name is Welby, first axe of the Bronze Brotherhood, though I'm not sure that title matters anymore. She pauses to gather her thoughts, then opens her mouth to continue. Instead, she exhales slowly and shakes her head. Never mind. You needn't be burdened with my problems. While I appreciate you coming to me before speaking with Reatommon, you will need to be careful. He has, as of late, been acting out of sorts, and any perceived slight can become a problem for the one who offends him. Choose your words with him carefully. What can I do to... What can I help you with? Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. Welby laughs a little. We're mercenaries, plain and simple. I'm not going to pretend like it's anything more. While it's true we have, in recent years, been a little more stationary than your typical crew, it doesn't change the fact that our services can be purchased if the price is right. The voices made an offer to assure our cooperation and we took it. If I had known Kairos would try to have us thrown out of our home afterwards, well, I probably would still have taken the rings, but I would have been a little bit more prepared for the inevitable conflict. Reatommon will try to tell you of our long and noble traditions, like we're some kind of altruistic saints who can do no wrong, but the story is as old and smelly as Grandma Beastman's tail hairs. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to take a job that doesn't seem right to me, but a ring's a ring, and I will go where the money leads me. One point Reatommon and I agree on is this: we did a job for Kairos, but we are not treated fairly. The Brotherhood is strong and we have the numbers. We will fight to the last man. I just don't agree with Reatommon's methods. To be honest, she said herself, they are mercenaries. I don't think there's any point in denying that they've turned against the Overlord. I need soldiers. Have you ever thought about uniting with others against Kairos? While I'm certainly open to the idea, a world without Kairos' oppressive rule is something I've dreamed of. Reatommon will not be. Past events have set him against anyone who isn't part of the Brotherhood, and recently, not even being a brother is sufficient to avoid his ire. What does it mean to be First Axe? She sighs. I wish I knew, Fatebinder. The First Axe protects and consults with the First Brother. I am supposed to be Reatommon's advisor, confidant, and guard. Lately his behavior has become erratic. He is acting paranoid, manic, and distrustful. My duty as First Axe is to protect the First Brother, but I am also sworn to protect the Brotherhood, and if that means the removal of Reatommon, so be it. He has too many supporters in Lethian's Crossings right now to speak out against him. How would you run the Brotherhood? I wouldn't waste time and resources on petty vendettas, that much I can tell you. I like battle and I like rings, and with the Brotherhood we used to get both regularly. Now all we have is fear, suspicion, and blood. I want the disciplined regiment back, and I intend to have it. While I may agree that we were treated unjustly, Reatommon's methods for obtaining restitution are despicable. What do you think happened to Reatommon? Honestly, I couldn't speak to the cause, the stress of leadership, the battles with Kairos' forces, his nights in the old walls. Welby shrugs. Does it matter? His behavior is endangering the Brotherhood, and he must be stopped before we are destroyed. I fear people will be hurt far more than a simple toll. She points south. He's over there searching corpses, looking for information. I know he's got nothing to find. looking for information I know he's not going to find. He ambushed a patrol. He's going to aim to anger an Archon, and for what? His pride. Let me ask something else. How could talking to you offend Reatommon? You chose to speak to the first axe before speaking to the actual first brother, the bodyguard before the leader. How could this mean anything but collusion and treason? I know I speak out of turn, but I only wish to warn you, tread lightly around Reatommon. That's all for now. She nods. By your leave, Fatebinder, and be careful. Okay, so that's Reatommon. I thought he would be here, but that's some other guy. A small figure stands before some armor-clad soldiers. His arms move around wildly as he gestures in frustration, yelling at the man directly in front of him. Absolutely not. I've come through the Ironhold Trail more times than I can remember. No one ever asked for a toll before, and I won't be paying one now. He notices you standing nearby and turns to speak. Fatebinder, surely you of all people can help me. My name is Aster and I need to go to Lethian's Crossing. I have goods to deliver. Tell this man I will not be paying a toll to him or anyone, and that he has to let me through. He folds his arms over his chest and nods with a pronounced finality. Greetings, Fatebinder. I am sorry to have you drawn into this. What you've stumbled into here is simply a conflict of the changing times. I am Will of the Bronze Brotherhood. Ironhold Trail is under our protection, and anyone passing through must obey our rules. If this gentleman would like to passage through our land, a simple donation is required. He holds out his hand. These funds help our cause and keep Ironhold a safe place for all travelers. Clearly you both can see value in that. Aster speaks, his arms swinging about. And who exactly is it keeping safe? You, standing there with your weapons at the ready against me? His arms drop as he turns to you again. I'm naught but a traveling merchant. I've got no money to spare, and I certainly pose no threat to anyone. Keep this area safe indeed. He points at Will. You're the only threat here. Fatebinder, talk some sense into this man. To be honest, like I kind of lack. I feel like I lack information to properly decide this case, because I'm not against the idea of tolls in general. Like, how else, historically, tolls were used for upkeep of roads and bridges and whatever. That's how you maintained them. Which, the more people used them, the more used they would have become. For example, there is a bridge here that is a perfectly fine place to demand paying a toll to cross, because it costs money to upkeep a bridge. If you let it fall into disrepair, people might literally die. But what I don't know is is the toll fair? I just don't have the sort of, the monetary values in my head relative to this world. Like, is the toll exorbitant? If it is, then, I would oppose that. Second, I don't know if the toll is being embezzled. Because obviously, if it is, again, I would be against that. You're not supposed to be extorting travelers for the privilege of traveling your land. You're supposed to be exacting a toll, basically for a common good. It's a form of taxation. You're not supposed to really be making that much money. You're just supposed to cover your losses, and therefore provide an actual service, which in this case is keeping the bridge operational and safe and all that. In general, I would give them the benefit of the doubt, and I will have him pay the toll. Because I don't have a problem with the idea of tolls in general. And I think what he's saying is irrelevant. Like, the management has changed. Whoever owned this location before might have had money to spare for the upkeep of the bridges and the roads, but maybe they don't. And it's a little preposterous that he says he doesn't have money. He's a merchant. If he can't, which again brings me the point of the fact that I don't know if the toll is being exorbitant. Because if it is, then I understand him. But if it isn't, he's a merchant. He's supposed to be making money on trade. And, paying tolls is like upkeep, is an element of the costs of making business. So I am going to stand up for them, and hopefully they are not like horribly unjust with the toll. Alternatively, I guess I can pay for him 50 rings. That's not that much for me, because I assume that that's the copper rings, right? The lowest denomination. Yeah, sure. Know my generosity. Pay 50 ring toll for Asta. Here is the payment for the merchant to pass unharmed. Thank you, Fatebinder. You've done a great deal of good today. Asta bows dramatically. He turns back to the soldier. And you, brute, move aside and let me pass. Will makes an exaggerated flourish and moves out of Asta's way, but of course, he raises an enormous hammer and stops Asta, pressing it against his chest. Though, merchant, be sure to have some rings of your own for the trip back. I doubt your friend here will be around to pay your way through these lands twice. He smiles, moves his hammer, and gestures for Asta to continue. Will returns to a position and looks you over, his former genial mood gone. So, a Fatebinder in our little corner of the world, who would have ever thought this would happen? He spits between his feet, then crashes it into the dirt with his boot. While I appreciate your help with dealing in the merchant, I'm afraid I can't let you pass until you have spoken with our leader, Reatommon. Personally, I thought he was crazy, saying you would be visiting Lethian's Crossing. Looks like I owe him a few rings. He shakes the pouch around his neck, making the rings inside jingle methodically. Not that there's a shortage of those out here. What can this humble servant of the Brotherhood do for you, Fatebinder? And don't ask me to let you through, because that isn't happening. This ridiculous piece of mercenary offal requires a lesson in pain and obedience. Allow me to teach him. No, I can handle this myself. If you don't feel like paying the toll, I can point you back to where you came. If you need an idea of where to go, because I can't let you through. So my who is Reatommon? I actually know, but I want him to reiterate. Maybe he will spill some of the beans of his opinion on him. He barks out in a short laugh. Now that's a question with 100 answers. Simple one? He's the current leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. If you want to know anything more, I suggest you go and find him and talk to him. Current leader? Well, it's not like the leader of the Brotherhood is a lifelong calling. He stops, his brow wrinkling. Actually, that's exactly what it is. See, if someone wants to claim the current leader's authority for their own, they can do it at any time. Of course, this means a challenge of some sorts, and that always ends with the death of one or more of the participants. Reatommon survived a night in the Old Wolf. That was enough to prove to the most of the Brotherhood that he was the right man for the job. Where can I find him? What? What did you say? He points south. He's right there, inspecting the corpses of some of Kairos' soldiers. He's bound to be in a good mood right now. He winks at you. All those dead bodies must be heaven for him. The color drains from his face as soon as the words leave his lips. Please don't tell him I said that. Okay, I will speak with Reatommon. I'll be counting the seconds until you return. And while you're talking to Will, a striking man with a shock of bright blonde hair approaches, moving away from some men searching the bodies of slain soldiers in the south. He watches you intently as he closes, his angular features pulling into a look of disdain. And here's the fair Fatebinder. He doesn't mask the displeasure in his voice. I knew we'd see you. I was just wondering when. What brings you out? What brings you out where no one asked you to come? Are Kairos' dogs ready to be put down again? I won't surrender the crossing, no matter how many times you try to take it. We were hired to protect the city, and we will continue to do so. No one else will have it. He glances at his men, who have stopped to watch the conversation. With a start, they return to searching the bodies. Never mind, I don't care why you're here. My name is Reatommon. I am the leader of the Bronze Brotherhood. But I'm sure you already knew that. I couldn't help but see you over there talking to Will and the traveling merchant. Only here for a moment and already sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, aren't you? I don't appreciate others invading my territory, Fatebinder. I told him here to speak to you, Reatommon. He wanted through, but I told him no. If you don't give me the signal, the Fatebinder isn't getting into Lethian's Crossing. No one will invade your territory. Reatommon stares at Will for a few moments, lips pursed, and continues as if Will never spoke. Speaking of which, what did Welby have to say? He looks north where Welby stands, watching you both intently. She has already started filling your mind with lies about me. She and I are going to have a chat soon. I can't have my first axe countermanding me at every turn. I know she wants my position. Watch yourself while you're a guest in my land. If you have to stir up more trouble, we are well equipped and we will not back down in defense of what is rightfully ours. He sweeps his arms in front of him, gesturing the surrounding countryside. Welby and I might not agree, but this is one point we see eye to eye on. If you step out of line, we will both correct you. His eyes narrow as he leans towards you. You're not welcome here. And now, tell me what you want, or leave. Why are you charging travelers a toll to get through the Ironhole Trail? I don't see how the affairs of the Brotherhood are your business, Fatebinder. Suffice to say, the funds we receive from our tolls help us keep the lands around the Lethian's Crossing safe. We are owed our dues, and we shall have them. Tell me about the Bronze Brotherhood. We are a humble group with a noble, long-held traditions on the side of right and honor. Reatommon's voice fills with pride. If there is an injustice that needs to be rectified, we are cold. Sounds like you're upstanding citizens. Yes, we are, Fatebinder. Reatommon's face breaks into a giant smile. I am glad someone finally sees us for what we are. I am tired of people calling us mercenaries or sellswords. So we get paid for what we do. We need to live. Okay, tell me about Welby. He shoots a look to the north. I had such high hopes for her as my first axe. The continued success of the Brotherhood should be the single most important goal for anyone who is a member. She seems to have forgotten her place. She is not the head of this band. I am. If she doesn't stop overreaching, I will have to replace her with someone who knows how to obey. Why is Lethian Crossing so important to the Bronze Brotherhood? We were asked to do a job and we did it. Then what happens? Kairos attempts to eject us from our home. He makes an emphatic gesture to the north towards Lethian's Crossing. By all rights, the city is ours, and suddenly Kairos wants it. Well, I intend to keep it. I refuse to leave. We have protected the crossing for years, and even ensured Kairos' forces could do business here when Nerat asked us to. No, we did the job we were asked, and this land belongs to us. I doubt he's going to be much receptive. He clearly doesn't like me, but I am going to ask. I am gathering an army. Would you consider standing against others against Kairos? Absolutely not. I have placed my trust in others before and only received the back of their hand in return. Payment or no, I do not appreciate providing service and being tossed aside. If they are not my brothers, they are not my friends. Okay, I need to go to Lethian's Crossing. Reatommon considers your request for a moment. If I let you through, you must promise to behave. I have enough problems dealing with everyone else. I don't need What? I don't need to the hassle? Is the two needed here? I don't need the hassle of keeping an eye out on you too. So watch yourself. This is my city and I have eyes everywhere. If you intend to stir up trouble, go somewhere else. I don't need it here. He turns to Will. Let the Fatebinder through. Do nothing to delay or accost this party or you'll answer to me. Will gives him a quick salute. Okay, we'll speak again soon. I certainly hope this isn't the case. You got Reatommon's permission to go, Fatebinder, so go. Well, before I do, is there anything else here? Nope, just some bodies.
Sorry, I can't. See that?
Okay, I think this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save here and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!